Hello dear friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you are serious about improving your English and building real confidence, you are in the right place. Today's video might change the way you see yourself. Be honest with me. Do you really have weak English? Or do you just have weak exposure? Because those are two completely different problems. And if you misunderstand the problem, you will keep blaming yourself forever. Most people watching this video secretly believe something. They believe they are not smart enough. They believe their memory is weak. They believe English is just not for them. Every time they forget a word, they say, "See, I told you. My English is bad." Every time they hesitate, they feel embarrassed. Every time someone else speaks confidently, they shrink inside. But what if I tell you something uncomfortable? Maybe your brain is not weak. Maybe your environment is. And today, I want to prove that to you with a simple story. The lie you have been believing. Let me tell you about someone. Let's call him Benedict. Benedict truly believed he was bad at English. Not average. Not improving. Bad. That was the label he gave himself. Whenever he had to introduce himself in English, his heart started beating faster. His mind went blank. Words that he had studied the night before simply disappeared. After every small mistake, he would replay it in his head and say, "Why am I like this? Why can't I speak properly?" But here is what is interesting. Benedict was not a weak student. He understood complex topics and other subjects. He could explain difficult ideas in his own language clearly and confidently. His teachers never said he lacked intelligence. His friends came to him for help in other subjects. So the problem was not his brain. The problem was not his capability. Yet he kept attacking himself as if he was the problem. Now look at his daily life. At home, nobody spoke English. With friends, conversations were always in his mother tongue. His phone language was not English. The videos he watched were not in English. Even in school, English was treated as a subject to memorize, not a language to live in. He studied answers. He passed exams. But he never actually used English naturally in daily situations. Still, he compared himself to someone who grew up watching English cartoons, listening to English music, studying in an English medium environment, and casually speaking English every single day. And that comparison destroyed his confidence. One day, after feeling embarrassed again in a small conversation, Benedict asked himself a different question. Instead of saying, "Why am I so bad at English?" he asked, "How many hours of English exposure do I actually get every day?" The answer shocked him. Almost zero real exposure. Zero real speaking. Zero real immersion. And suddenly, something clicked inside him. He realized he was not failing because he was dumb. He was struggling because his environment never trained his brain to think in English naturally. That day he stopped saying, "My English is weak." He started saying, "My exposure is weak." And that small shift changed everything. The real reason you feel stuck. The reason Benedict struggled was not lack of intelligence. It was lack of repetition. Your brain learns language the same way it learns anything else. Through patterns, through exposure, through daily contact. When you hear something again and again, your brain stops translating. It starts recognizing. It starts predicting. It starts responding automatically. But if you only meet English for a few minutes in a classroom or during exams, your brain treats it like a guest, not like family. Think about your mother tongue. You never studied it the way you study English. You were surrounded by it. You heard it every day. You saw it. You reacted to it. You lived inside it. That constant exposure built fluency without pressure. Now compare that to your relationship with English. It appears occasionally. Sometimes in a lesson. Sometimes in a video. Sometimes when you feel forced to speak. That inconsistency creates fear because your brain never feels safe enough to respond naturally. Benedict realized something powerful. The students he admired were not magicians. They were not genetically gifted in English. They simply had more hours inside the language. Their brains were trained through repetition. They had watched interviews, movies, conversations. They had listened to English even when they were not consciously studying. So when they spoke, it felt smooth. Not because they were perfect, but because their brains were familiar. Fluency is familiarity. Confidence is repetition. Exposure creates comfort. The problem is not that you cannot speak. The problem is that your brain has not received enough English signals to build automatic responses. And until that changes, you will keep feeling stuck no matter how many grammar rules you memorize. The exposure formula. When Benedict understood this, he did not try to become fluent overnight. He did not buy 10 courses. He did not start studying for 5 hours a day. He did something much simpler. He changed his daily environment. He started listening to English for 20 minutes every single day. Not randomly. Not once a week. Every day. Interviews. Podcasts. Simple conversations. Even if he did not understand everything, he kept listening. He stopped chasing perfection and started chasing consistency. At first, it felt uncomfortable. His brain resisted. But slowly, the sounds became familiar. The rhythm became natural. Then he added something small but powerful. 5 minutes of speaking to himself. Alone. No audience. No pressure. He described his day. He described what he was thinking. Sometimes he made mistakes. Sometimes he paused. But he did not stop. That tiny habit started building muscle memory in his mouth and courage in his mind. He also changed small digital habits. He switched his phone language to English. He followed English content intentionally. He replaced some scrolling time with listening time. Nothing extreme. Just intentional. For the first month, he did not feel dramatic improvement. That is important, because most people quit when they do not see fast results. But Benedict kept going. After 3 months, something changed. He was still not perfect, but he was no longer terrified. He could respond without freezing. He could think a little faster. He could stay in conversations longer. Exposure did not make him perfect. It made him comfortable. And comfort is the first step to confidence. The emotional shift. Let me tell you something that most people never hear. You are not bad at English. You are just early in your exposure journey. Some people started hearing English at 5 years old. Some at 10. Some at 15. Maybe you started seriously at 20 or later. That does not make you less intelligent. That just means your timeline is different. And different is not inferior. The real damage was never your grammar mistakes. The real damage was the label you gave yourself. Every time you said, "I am weak," your brain believed you. Every time you avoided speaking, your fear became stronger. Every time you compared your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, you lost confidence that you actually deserved. But here is the truth that can set you free. Language is not about worth. It is about wiring. Your brain wires itself based on what it hears daily. If it hears English daily, it builds pathways. If it does not, it cannot magically create fluency under pressure. That is not failure. That is biology. So stop turning a training issue into a character issue. You are not incapable. You are undertrained. And training can change. Imagine if, for the next 6 months, you surrounded yourself with English intentionally. Imagine if instead of attacking yourself for mistakes, you treated every mistake as proof that you are practicing. Imagine if instead of saying, "I sound stupid," you said, "I am in training." That mindset alone removes fear. Because now you are not performing. You are building. Just like Benedict, your first goal is not fluency. It is comfort. The moment you become comfortable hearing English, speaking small sentences, thinking small thoughts in English, something powerful happens. The fear loses control. The panic reduces. The hesitation becomes smaller. Confidence does not appear loudly. It grows quietly. And one day, you realize something surprising. You are speaking. Not perfectly, but naturally. That is the power of exposure. So please stop punishing yourself for not having what you were never consistently exposed to. Instead, build what you were missing. Slowly, daily, patiently, because you are not behind in life. You're just starting correctly now. And that is enough. Before you leave this video, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about how many times you called yourself weak. How many times you said, "I can't speak English." How many times you compared yourself to someone else and felt small. Now listen carefully. You were never weak. You were just underexposed. Nobody told you that fluency is not a talent. It is not a gift given to a few lucky people. It is built quietly, day by day, through small repeated exposure. Just like Benedict, the day you stop attacking yourself and start adjusting your environment, everything begins to change. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily. And steady growth is powerful growth. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not incapable. You are simply one decision away from building the right environment. So, here's what I want you to do. From today, stop saying, "My English is weak." Start saying, "My exposure starts now." If you are serious about changing your environment, comment, "Exposure starts now." Not for me, for yourself. If this video shifted your mindset even a little, share it with one person who secretly believes they are bad at English. Because sometimes one small shift in thinking changes everything. If you want more videos that build real confidence, not fake motivation, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are not just learning English here. We are rebuilding belief. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.